If you plug in your OBD scanner to the OBD port in your Kia Sportage and nothing happens, no light and no connection, it can be pretty frustrating, especially if you're trying to diagnose a check engine light or other warning on your dashboard. Normally, when you plug in a scanner to the OBD II port, it should power on automatically using voltage from the vehicle's electrical system. So if your scanner stays completely dead, that usually means the OBD port isn't getting power. And in many cases, the cause is a simple blown fuse. The fuse for the OBD port is located in the interior fuse box. Open the driver's door and look to the lower side of the dashboard. You will see a small rectangular panel. This is the interior fuse box cover. Grab the handle and gently pull it out. Flip the cover and you will find a diagram showing the layout of all the fuses. In this 4th generation Kia Sportage, the fuse that powers the OBD port is labeled as Module 8, and it's a 7.5 amp fuse. If you have a test light, you don't have to pull out the fuse to check it. First, ground the clip on your test light to any clean metal surface, like an unpainted bolt. Then, touch the tip of the test light to both tiny metal contacts on the back of the fuse. If the test light turns on when touching both sides, the fuse is good. If it only lights up on one side, then the fuse is blown and needs to be replaced. If you don't have a test light, you will have to pull out the fuse for visual inspection. Use a fuse puller or a pair of needle nose pliers to carefully pull out the fuse. Hold the fuse up to a light and look closely at the tiny metal strip inside. If the strip is intact, the fuse is likely still good. But if it's burned through or broken, the fuse is blown and needs to be replaced. If the fuse is blown, replace it with one of the same amperage reading. Once the new fuse is installed, turn on the ignition and plug your OBD scanner back into the port. If the fuse was the issue, your scanner should immediately power on and start communicating with the vehicle. If the fuse is good and your OBD port still isn't working, there may be a wiring issue or the connector is damaged. Unfortunately, if the wiring to the OBD port is damaged or the port itself is faulty, you can't simply swap out the connector like you would with a fuse. The OBD port is integrated into the vehicle's main wiring harness, which connects directly into the interior fuse box and other electrical components. This means that if the port is physically broken, corroded, or the internal contacts are worn out, the only proper fix is to replace the entire harness assembly. It's a much more involved job, requiring partial disassembly of the lower dashboard area, disconnecting the old harness from the fuse box and other modules, and routing the new one into place. Because of the complexity, most people prefer to have this repair done by a professional mechanic or at a Kia service center, unless you are very comfortable working with automotive wiring. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to OBD II for more automotive tips. Thanks for watching.